Welcome, welcome. My name is Karen. I'm going to be your facilitator today. I am going to give you a little heads up. I woke up with a barking cough this morning. I have some hot tea here with me, some decaf Earl Grey, and it seems to only happen about every hour or so. So I'm hoping if it does happen, I will be on camera. But if all of a sudden the sound goes out and I look like I'm losing it, it's probably because I'm having a coughing fit and I have to like put you on mute so you don't have to listen to it. But I could not give up the social. I could not definitely this is too good. I wanted to be here even if I do not feel 100%. Kimberly, we're going to walk through it. It's going to be fine. It was actually the way I looked at it may help you. That blank sheet of paper does become intimidating sometimes. So is there anyone that this is their very first time at a social? If so, put me in the chat and we will welcome you to our Sonder fam. I'm excited to have Katie supporting us in the chat today, all the way from Scotland. We have not worked together. Our schedules have not aligned in a while. So we were thrilled to be able to catch up on the calls right ahead of time. I know it's so good to have her here. I thought when she moved to Scotland that like things might not work, but we are so glad to be able to have her. So glad. She always has such a unique perspective onto it. And I'll let her in the chat share her ideas for our opening activity because I thought it was so smart. So smart. Okay. So I think everybody, if no one is brand new, you need to make sure your chat is set to everyone if you don't want just Katie and myself seeing it. If it is something that for just Katie and I do click, host and panel list, and we will get it. Otherwise, if you want everyone to see your comments, set it to everyone. If you are on an Apple product like a iPad or a phone, sometimes it will revert as you go back and forth. So just double check that. We have our community guidelines. Be kind and courteous to yourself as well as others. And I really believe that being kind to yourself is one of the hardest things to do, especially when you are doing journaling. So I put that as number one. No promotions or spam. Respect everyone's privacy. No hate speech or bullying. Limit repetitive product and accessory questions. Those are great to put on the app. Katie and I do not work for headquarters, so if your journal is missing a page or it's late or something like that, unfortunately, we are not able to look at your account. We have no access. You would need to email hello@silkandsonder.com. Remember, they're a Monday through Friday team, so they probably won't get back to you until, work hours. So if like you do a Sunday, they're not going to get back to you till like probably midday Monday. And then finally, Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community, but you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. Oh, thank you, Brenda. It needs to be washed, and so I threw it up. I thought I would get it washed today, but it didn't happen. I just didn't feel really good, so I watched Brilliant Friends on Amazon and snuggled Snickers. Some days that's what we do. So let's go ahead and dig in. I'm going to say that I don't think this one is going to bring up a ton of emotions. So I don't think this is one you need tissues for, but you never know. Sometimes a prompt might bring on that beautiful release. And if that happens, totally okay. And it's actually a good thing, right? We all need that cathartic release at some point. Okay, so we are looking and diving into Thrive. That is my word of the year. You're going to see that when I share my January's vision board. That's the word, vision board. So I was excited about this month's theme and I'm definitely enjoying it. And it looks like we are having some people joining us a little bit late with login troubles. So we're glad that you guys are here and literally you just met did the Mucinex fry my brain? That's all I'm wondering at the moment. Oh, come on, Karen, pull it together. We got this. Okay, so we're going to go through our opening activity. We're going to do the free write on page 15 and the vision board on page 19. With the vision board, you may choose to do it in your journal, or you may choose to do it on your computer, or you might choose to get a poster board and do it old school, like back in the 90s with lots of magazine pictures and such. There's not a right or wrong way to do it. So our opening activity, as you know, is not in the journal. This can be done on a scratch sheet of paper. It can be done on a notes page or repurposing area or your scratch pad. I will say, when I first looked at this prompt, I was not loving it, but the more I dug into it, the more I really actually enjoyed it. So I'll read it to you and then I'll share what I was thinking about it. Metamorphosis of thinking. Choose your starting point. Select an object or creature that represents your current state. It could be a simple seed, a caterpillar in a cocoon, a huddled animal seeking shelter, or even a metaphorical object that resonates with you. Create your thriving transformation. Draw or write about the process of transformation towards a state of thriving. What does this transformation look like? Does the seed sprout vibrant flowers? Does the caterpillar emerge as a beautiful butterfly? Does the huddled animal find a safe haven and blossom into a thriving creature? Let your imagination run wild. Okay, so if you've done socials with me before, you know I'm not one who enjoys drawing. So I decided to go and do writing. I wanted to give you something different than what it is that was listed as examples. I was a first grade teacher for several years, and I remember a little winter book, and I don't know why it popped in my mind and was like Animals of Winter, and it was a science book all about the animals, and I thought hibernate. And so then I thought fox, and then I go, foxes don't hibernate. So I did a little internet search, and I'm all like, what is a cute animal, aka not a bear or a snake? Because that's not what I'm going to be thinking of myself thriving as, though they're lovely creatures. I thought hedgehog. So I wrote about a hedgehog. And as I wanted to write more about a hedgehog, good to know, Emily, that the bears don't actually hibernate either. So I was like, okay, so I kept finding more facts about my animal, about what it would take for them to be thriving. And that's how I approached this. I was a science teacher as well, but let's just say after fifth grade, I didn't really dive that deep into any of the rest of the science. I see a cute little hedgehog coming out of his den, and I realize now after researching hedgehogs that like just leaves and such are what they actually hibernate under. Ready to take on the world with his cute little self. She is going to fill her belly with earwigs and other creepy crawlies. Because I was like, okay, well, if you're thriving, you need to be able to have a really good diet. And so they are carnivorous animals, which I learned today. I did not know that. She would be a hedgehog triathlon, which apparently that would be swimming, running, and instead of biking, it would be climbing. She would visit friends in the city because hedgehogs can adapt to the city living quite well, and cemetery. And I just thought that was kind of an interesting fact that they like the cemetery. And I thought her kind of visiting the past after being in hibernation in the past was kind of a nice tie in with that. She is living her cool life in the shade because they don't like a lot of heat. So that is my little hedgehog and her thriving life. And I think how that relates to myself. I think Maggie, it was a book and it was like learn to read and it had like science. I think it was a level 2 and it had a fox in winter, I think, on the front. I probably could find it in the break. So I'm like, oh, what are we thinking? So I'm like, wow, that's a lot of chat GPT ideas there. I like that, Amy. Cool. So I consider myself that I have gone through a metamorphosis or kind of a hibernation. I have changed jobs multiple times. I recently opened a Pilates studio. And so before I moved into fitness full time, I felt like I was in hibernation. And now that I am running my studio and I'm creating the events and the life that I want, um, that I'm coming out of that hibernation. And just like that little hedgehog, I'm trying to find the environment I thrive in, the food that feels good to me, and the friends and family. So that's how I approached it. So I'm going to go off camera and play some instrumental 90s covers, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes. I loved that rendition of Smells Like Teen Spirit. I mean, yeah, I'm showing my age, but whatever. Yeah, it is a very soothing version of it. Um, I loved reading all of your ideas from wherever you are of a flower that is blooming, but it not bloom well, sprouting, but not blooming yet. That book full of research, the soothing panda, all of those. I loved reading the perspectives and the way you took it. I really hope that you will share some of those on Sonder Club because I would love to read what it is that you had to write. We are going to be looking at page 15, and it's imagine you are thriving across all areas of your life. Everything is working out entirely in your favor. What does it look like and feel like? Write openly and freely. Jeez, Karen, get the words. Okay. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you would think Mucinex would not make me brain dead, but apparently it has. So I took this prompt and I kind of wrote most of it in if it was a perfect day scenario. And that to me made it a little bit easier because then I could think about what my morning, my work day, and my evening would look like. So I'll share mine with you. Remember, it does not have to be a stream of consciousness. This could be bullet points. You could draw pictures. You could grab some stickers of the things that would be speaking to you, especially if you are like a pip sticker person like I am. They have some like essential oils and such, and you can get creative with this. I would like to wake up, have coffee, and journal. Get a workout in and head into the studio. I would teach and have time to practice new moves. That's really hard for a Pilates instructor, FYI, because we're usually back to back to back. And you don't want to do it if you don't know if it's safe or what the correct setting is. So you really need to practice it yourself. I would eat my healthy lunch that I meal prepped and spend the afternoon at my house in my new outdoor area to work on lesson plans, administration, and workshop ideas. My workshops are full and all my classes have wait lists. So the thing I'll share with you is that because it is a Pilates studio, most of the people from the old studio only think of me when it comes to a really hard workout. And that's not what it is that I want our studio to be. And so my workshops, I'm doing this amazing active meditation workshop this weekend. We're gonna do some flower arranging with a flower bar. We're gonna have this beautiful chocolate I flew in from New York, do a chocolate tasting and do some diamond painting. And I have 3 people signed up. 3. So you can see why this is where it is that I'm trying to get to. My studio is booming with the best of Marin and all the magazine and newspapers. We got recognized, but because we're so new, we're only open 6 months. We didn't get like the best Pilates studio yet, but that's what mine would be. I would meet my husband in the city, San Francisco, to grab dinner and a play. The rest of the week would be full of travel, scouting a place for a retreat while other instructors keep the studio going. Because right now it's just definitely me and my co-partner, and she's actually having a hysterectomy on Thursday. And so I'm going to be covering the studio basically by myself for a few weeks. So I'm really hoping I can solidify some really good instructors so that I can make some of these dreams happen. Thank you guys for the fact that you totally get where I'm coming from. I will get there with them, but it's just going to take some time for them to see me as just not just a hard instructor, but as a health coach, as someone who really cares about all encompassing health. So that's how I broke it down. It is going to be an awesome event. And I'm making little individual charcuterie in the little cups with the little sticks. Oh, it's going to be amazing. So whoever comes, they're getting pampered. And I'm going to love it no matter what. I'm going to give them 100%. Okay, so I am going to put that slide back up and I'm going to give you guys some time to be able to free write. Remember, it can be words, it can be little sketches, it can be stream of consciousness, it can be looking at your perfect day and a little bit past, it can be your perfect summer, perfect season. Definitely, however it is. That's why you guys are my people. And that's why no matter how hard it is for me to schedule Silk and Saunders, I won't give you guys up because you get me. You get me. What can I say? Okay, have some fun with this one. Okay, I loved reading your comments, and it really made me stop and think about the way thriving is going to look different times of your life. Like Katie's living in Scotland right now, and she's like traveling to different countries and doing all of those things. Well, Katie's quite a bit younger than I am, and I did that when I moved to New Zealand, and I traveled around Australia and New Zealand, and you know, I did that. And now for me, it's more like about the smaller things of being home, establishing a business and doing those types of things. So things shift in our lives. And for Katie, it's going to look different in 10 years and it looked different 10 years ago. So depending on what's happening in your life, thriving might be big and adventure, or it might not be at all. And I think either one is perfectly wonderful. So I'm just gonna leave that. Yeah, definitely. And Katie was telling me, like, oh, she's joined a drama group and is doing these things to get outside of her comfort zone with new people. And I love that so much. And so sometimes it's little things that you're doing. So, yeah, it's not a competition. And it looks different depending on where you are in life, and it looks different depending on your personality. Some of us are just homebodies. I definitely can be that way for sure. And there's thriving when I'm in that mode is very different than when I'm in like travel adventure mode. So, yeah, I like what Katie just said. We're all just taking small steps to make us happy. Yeah, Emily, lean into it. There's nothing wrong with it being small. For me, my day today was watching TV, snuggling the dog, and doing one skincare mask after another. Like there's nothing wrong with that if that brings you joy. So, okay, now we're going to get to the main event. It is vision board time, but I will say that doing this writing ahead of time, I used it a bit like a graphic organizer or a free write to inspire my vision board. So that might or might not work for you, but I wanted to throw it out there. I finally accepted that I'm a homebody, even as a huge extrovert. I can be both, and that's okay. Absolutely. Okay, I think this one was Bailey's from 2002, and you can see she kept it really, really simple. She kept just writing down. She didn't use any photos or anything like that. So this is one example. Here are a couple of mine from the past. You can see there are some things that definitely reappear throughout all of my vision boards: retreat, adventure, meal prep, organization. I did become a health coach before I opened, but those are things that you can see. Date night appears in a lot. So you're going to see that those things, even though I've done this exercise, a lot of the same things are still coming up. Do I still meal prep? Absolutely. Is it still something that I want to continue doing in the future? Absolutely. Do I travel? Yes. Do I want to continue to travel? So don't think this has to be something brand new. Here's some examples of other people of ways that they have done this. So using stickers, some people have taken it outside of their journal, which is lovely if you want to put it in your bathroom and as a reminder, or over your computer in your office, etc. Some people use stickers and words. Some people got on Canva and created a cell phone background. I love that. And then some people went old school, like I used to in the 90s, with a big old poster board and filling it up with magazine cuttings. All of that is definitely great. Not a right or wrong way. Just like what brings you joy? What's going to make you the happiest? Are you someone who likes to be in your computer and experiment with software? Then Canva's the way to go. Are you someone who has a stack of magazines that you absolutely love and can't get rid of? Get your scissors out and some glue. Are you the person who's hoarding stickers? Maybe it's stickers and words for you. Pamela, I agree, man. They have gotten so expensive, and I feel like they're not as good as they used to be. I don't know if that's just me getting old or not. Okay, so I shared this in January. So I'm going to share it again, and then I'm also going to share my current vision board. I belong to a life coaching group, and we created a magazine cover as our vision board. And as I mentioned, my word of the year is flourish, which just goes great with the theme. And some of the things that I put in: return to life, applying Joseph's teachings in everyday life, because he actually did care about sunlight and self-care and breath and these types of things as well. The importance of work-life balance, prioritizing yourself as a business owner, tips for success. Hugh, the core founder, building a supportive, enjoyable wellness community. So that's what it was. And then I did over here on the right-hand side, a little vision board here in January. So we see me on, not me, you see someone on a reformer, meal prep, lifting weights. That was something new that I took up in January. Self-care isn't selfish. That's actually the tagline of our studio. And entrepreneur, because that's what it is that I'm working on. And then I'm glad someone talked about AI. I took it one step further and I don't remember if I used Chat GPT or if I used Gemini, the Google version, but I put in information, let it create an article for me based on one of those headlines, which was really a fun activity. And then I'll share my current vision board. Self-care, being by the water, I realize that grounds me. One of the things I'm trying to do twice a week is there's a beautiful waterfront walkway that I can take Snickers to. And it's about a 30-minute walk. It's a little over a mile. This is not a fast walk. This is like the pelicans and the boats and me and Snickers. So I try to hit that. Self-care. There's someone doing Pilates. Retreat. I realize that that's something I really want in the future, as I do want to run a retreat. I was hoping to go to Italy this summer and I wasn't, so that's the picture there. But those of you who have been following me, I'm going to Italy virtually, and my bingo board is actually coming along pretty well of the things I wrote down and the things that I am doing. Journaling, remember that came from my writing that I did earlier. Date night. It's also, there's a little fire pit there, and they're finishing up my backyard. I now have a hot tub, fire pit, and soon to be an outdoor kitchen that I'm going to be able to utilize. Money, because I want my studio to grow and I want to be able to invest in it and get a larger place in about 2 years. Once again, healthy food. And then that bigger studio represents like me being able to move into a larger space in the future. So if you're struggling with your vision board, here are some things to think about. What type of person do you want to live into this season? So maybe you're thinking about just the summer, or maybe summer and fall, the last 6 months of the year. What do you look like? What do you act like? What do you feel like? What do you live? What do you taste? What do your days look like? What do you want to welcome in more of into your life? What simple or grand pleasures bring you joy? What have you always wanted to do, be, or have that you've never started or finished? What words, phrases, visuals embody the life you want to live into? You can think of these areas: business, career, health, family, relationships, love, marriage, creativity, skills, self-development, travel, wealth, other thoughts, places to go, important people, phrases, and quotes. So I am going to go off camera. Katie and I are both there to support you. Kimberly, what a great thing to return to the wheel of life. Any of your intentions, if you're having intentions that you've been working on for several months, maybe you use those for inspiration. Any of the past journaling that you've done that you can use as a brainstorming session to help advise you in your vision board, use it. If you were someone who was with me in January when we did it, go back and revisit that as well. Okay, I'm going to go off camera. Katie and I are here to support you in the chat. Time went so fast. Can you believe our hour has come and gone? I appreciate you guys being here with me today. And it seems like I made it through. I had one coughing fit off camera, but it looks like I made it through. But I hope I didn't just jinx myself. Share your pages in Sonder Club. We want to see your vision boards, your inspiration, all the things. Refer a friend. Still going on. Upgrade to an annual. If you're loving Silk and Saunders and you have a little bit of extra cash, it will save you money in the long run. And then tell us what you actually think. And, that's where you can say, hey, we want the cooking social back, or we want to be able to have our Monday mornings early every week. All of that feedback is really important. Kimberly, yes, that has shown up in our Slack line quite a few times. Sticker socials. I am there for it. I'm so there for it. Okay. YouTube link is also in the chat. I have had so much fun with you. I hope this is giving you some inspiration. And please, I know some of you are going to throw your journal at me for saying it. It's okay to rip out your vision board if you did it, so that if you want it someplace close by, I do it with my bingo boards. Nobody has to know. It is completely and totally okay. So I'm going to throw that awesome acoustical playlist in the chat, and I will see you in a little bit. I'm going to be taking a little break as my co-founder heals, and I will be back probably at the end of July. All right. Have a great day, and I love spending this time with you.